it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment.
You're muted.
Good morning. It's Tech for Senior Live. It's September the 8th, 2022. Welcome. I'm your host today, Ron Brown, and we'll be going on today with the show. Today's agenda will be starting with our introductions. We're going to talk a little bit about the new Apple event. Then we're going to have some coffee, and we're going to go over all the news events of this week, which of course a lot of it will center around Apple. If you're watching this on a YouTube feed, thank you so much. If you're watching this on a YouTube short, just click the link in the description and it'll take you right to the show. Speaking of the show, this show is Thursday morning. And if we have a show on Monday as well, our big show is on Monday, Tech for Senior. This show is primarily to go over the news of the week. We tape this, and of course, it goes out to our Facebook feed and our YouTube feed. Our Monday show is a Zoom meeting, so if you're over there on our Zoom feed for Monday, we'll see you on Monday. You're not going to be able to listen to anything. So if you're confused and you want to know how to listen to the show, just go to our webpage, and I'll put the link up here. You just go to our webpage, and it's techforsenior.com. And if you go there, you'll see a big button that says "Take me to the show," and off you go, and it'll take you to our YouTube or Facebook feed. And so that's where the show is broadcast today. We also podcast this out, and so it'll be out on Monday. Now we have a group of people today. We will, of course, the usual gang is here. And you may think that we are all sitting in a studio having a good time and drinking some coffee, but we're not. We are actually doing this through the magic of the internet and StreamYard, which is, and we're actually all over. We're in different countries, different parts of the world. And so I thought I would just mention that I live on a little island off the west coast of Canada called Vancouver Island. And if you miss Vancouver Island, you'll end up in Hawaii or soon over in China. So you have to. But we also have two other people today I want to introduce, and they are in different parts of the world and country as well. So we have, of course, the co-host of the Monday show, Huey Poplick from Bradenton, Florida today. Huey, that's a long way away. Do I have to holler? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, now holler, 2 for $1.
So listen, how are you doing this morning?
Actually, not too bad. It's been a busy week, and it's still going to be busy. I know you've got a show tonight in Milwaukee, right? You're going to be talking about watches. And then Sunday, I do the Windows SIG for CFCS and now STUG. It's now a combined meeting that we talk about Windows, and that's going to be Sunday. So it's And then last night we had the Stug presentation. Drew King did a nice job on He talked about Windows 10 and 11, a little bit more thorough than I usually do on Sundays. But so it was a good meeting, and we're glad everybody's here. I'm glad to be here as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. And we're a long way away. We're on one different parts of the country.
We're about as far apart as we could be, and we've never met.
No, we've never met. We talk a lot and see each other, but we've never actually physically met. But I have met Bob, and I'm going to introduce Bob in a minute. But before I introduce Bob, if you are out there, we have no idea who's listening. So we could be just sitting here talking to ourselves. So if you are out there and you are listening, if you wouldn't mind putting in the chat, maybe your first name and where you're from. We're going to be talking today, and if you could put in there, are you interested in buying a new iPhone or watch after the big Apple event on yesterday? So if you are, or you have a comment on that, let us know. It's interesting. When we did a poll on our show on Monday, about half the people have iPhones. So it is split right down the middle now. So lots of people out there have these devices. So let's. I'm wondering how many of our readers. Maybe you're listening and you're going to be off to the Apple store today to buy something. Let us know. It'd be interesting to know. Now from from Los Lunas, New Mexico. A great guy, a fella that's been with us since day one, and is a kingpin in our on our Monday show. Bob does the security news update. He's not just a security guy. He sort of does everything. He's a very prolific person who puts a lot of makes a lot of videos on a lot of different things and knowledge. He's a smart guy, and we're so honored to have him in our presence, because he keeps us online and on track, and is a great friend of ours. Bob Gostisha from Los Lunas, New Mexico.
Good morning. Busy day for me today. 1 o'clock my time. I'll be doing a presentation for the New Mexico. See, I'm having a senior moment, and that's who I'm doing a presentation for.
There you go.
New Mexico Conference on Aging.
Ah, okay.
Unfortunately, this year they're doing it remotely, and it's turned out to be more or less a fiasco because they don't know what they're doing.
Oh,
Plain and
really?
simple.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It was
Yeah.
nice when we did it in person because you had live speakers and you had a live event. But now everything's done remotely and nobody knows how the connections work. You got all kinds of crap going on in the background. It's not as nice as our show. But I guess eventually they'll learn.
Well, we've had 100. What, we had 128 sessions to get it right.
Yep. Lots of practice.
We did a lot of practice.
Yep.
I don't have to. I get up in the morning, and the first thing I have to do is come to the show, and it's sort of all. I got everything organized. I don't have to think too much about it because we've done it so many times. You push the same buttons, and everything sort of happens, and it all works, right? So,
and to be totally fair, even with 128 episodes, occasionally we do make a mistake.
Yeah.
But I edit those mistakes out when I publish it. I make it
Correct.
look really good. That's the secret of editing, is you can edit all that stuff out and make it really look good.
Well, we're supposed to make a few mistakes so people feel more comfortable with us knowing that we make them as well.
Yeah, that's true. So Huey, do we have anybody listening? Do we have any comments?
Hey, we got a whole bunch of people. Let's
are people out there? Steve, good. Steve Powell, a regular, is here from Kirkland. Sunny day. It's going to warm up. It's going to be sunny. Gerald Smith from West Seattle. Hope Ron had a good birthday. Stayed off the Comox bar at the end tide. Yes, indeed. I might have popped into the bar, but it wasn't over the water. I did have a great birthday. For those of you who don't know, I turned the big 70. I'm not really, 50 and 60 didn't bother me, but the big 70, this does. I think I'm going to stop having birthdays.
Wait till you hit the 80.
Yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah, you're the kid of the bunch.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Yep.
But I look at you two and for inspiration. I think if I know just a fraction as much as you two, when I get to be 80, I'll be so happy. And Gene Lingenfelder, Northwest PA. Gene goes back a long way. I know Gene from back in the Mesa days. So welcome, Gene. Bob Baxter from Bellevue, Washington. Bob, yep, regular. We know Bob. Bernard DeFazio, Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan. Good morning. Diane Binder. Hi, I'm here, Diane from Royal Heights, Leesburg, Florida. Now, is that close to you, Huey? Where's Leesburg, Florida?
Oh, it's probably an hour away.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more central and a little bit north central from me.
Okay. I have an iPhone and watch and iPad. Well, you're all in then. That's good, Dan. Bernard, no way too much money, right? Okay. Jolin's here. Good morning. Jolin is a good friend of ours, and Jolin often helps us with our learning Chromebook session. She is the true guru of gurus with for computer technology and helping support. She does daily. She's over at her computer club doing support work all day, and so she really knows a lot about helping people. Made it home in time almost. Hi guys from the low country of South Carolina. Irving, greetings from Ottawa. I'm interested in replacing the iPhone SE from the year 2016. Well, we've got lots of good things to talk about today then. Yes, indeed. Kathleen Steed from, I'm not sure how this works on Facebook, which I rarely use. I also have a great deal of trouble finding the Thursday link. I'm interested in updating my Apple Watch from 2021. Also, I'm signed up for the NM on Aging. Bob is 1 p.m. EDT. She's got it right?
Yep.
There you go. Thanks, Kathleen.
It's 1 p.m. Mountain Time.
1 p.m. Mountain. Okay.
Mountain Time. So that's
That'd be 2 hours. That's a 2-hour difference, correct?
Yeah. It would be 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Eastern.
I hope you got that, Kathleen.
And Jolin said, finally caught up with me, Ron. Happy birthday again. Okay, thanks a lot. Sally, beautiful day today. Not buying new Apple right now. Jolin says, thank you, Ron. There we go. That's it.
Yeah, we're caught up.
We're all caught up. All right.
Wait, one more.
One more?
Just came in.
Ivana Stewart, good morning from Argyle, Texas. Great. Okay, so listen, I wanted to talk today about the Apple event yesterday, and I think all of us have some comments. I'm going to, well, maybe I'll start with Huey. We talked a little bit about this before. Before I get into what I want to talk about the event, what did you think? You're obviously you actually have an iPhone, right?
I have an iPhone. I think it's an 8 that I got. I don't even have a phone number for it anymore. I use it to take pictures and a few other things because I use a Galaxy S22 Ultra.
Right.
But I've had a few iPhones over the years. I like them. To me, it's not a whole bunch difference between an iPhone and an Android phone. They work a little bit different, but they basically do the same things. The one thing about yesterday, and I read a few articles and watched a few things about it. I did not watch the whole show that they did and introduced everything. But Tim Cook made a comment for people who want more connection for messaging between iPhones and Android phones. And he said, go out and buy your mother an iPhone. In other words, screw you, Android people. We don't care about you. And I thought it was just a little pompous. It just kind of.
Well, he's talking about RCS messaging and the standard. They're trying to get Apple to go with RCS as well, so that they.
And Apple just says, no, we're not going to do that. Go. You got to buy an iPhone. The heck with it.
All right. Bob, any comments? Anything you have, any comments on?
I'm sorry. I'm an Android person.
All right.
I can afford it. Well, I was about to say I can afford an Android phone, but wait a minute. There's really no difference anymore when you're talking about top of the line phones.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether you have an Android or an iPhone. They're all too darn expensive. Yes, they do a lot. And yes, they're probably a lot more powerful than most people's computers, but it's still supposed to be a phone. And that's the one thing all of them do is allow you to make phone calls.
And the lifespan on them is about 2 years, according to them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The iPhone or Android, they figure in 2 years you need to get a new one. Your old one's much too old, and that to me is, they should be able to last 4 or 5, 6 years if possible. But they got to turn that money for the companies.
Yep.
Okay, so here's my thoughts, and there's some notable things that came out of the iPhone 13,
14.
or 14. Sorry, the 14. So the first thing that's interesting, I want your opinion on this. Did you pick up this fact? Okay, in the United States, this is only in the United States, the iPhone 14 will only be sold with eSIMs. Now, let me just explain what an eSIM is for everybody, those that don't know. eSIM means it's not a physical SIM card that you put in. As everyone knows, a SIM card is that little card that your cell phone provider has, and it actually is the link between your cell phone provider and your phone that has your number on it. And what happens is you plug that into your phone and bingo, it connects. Now, eSIM is you don't need a physical SIM. It's software that does this for you. Now, the eSIMs have been around for a long time. In fact, my Pixel 3, which I had, 4 or 5 years ago, had I connected with an eSIM on it. So eSIMs have been around for quite a while. So this is very interesting because I don't know if you guys thought about this before, because now we know Verizon has eSIMs, T-Mobile has eSIMs. All the companies, the big companies that resell these phones, all have eSIM plans. In other words, you just download the T-Mobile software, boom, install the eSIM, or download the Verizon software and install the eSIM. What happens to consumer cellular? They don't have eSIMs. What happens to all the smaller players now in the market in the United States? I think this is a clever crafted thing that Tim Cook's designed around the big companies that to sell these products, because that is going to cut out all the small players in getting reasonable cell phone, or getting a budget cell phone plan, if that's what you want, because they don't have eSIMs. Do you see what I'm saying on this? Do you guys think about that? This could have really big consequences for all those people that have, MNVOs, mobile network virtual operators, the MNVOs. This is going to have big significant impact on that.
They'll have to get eSIMs.
Or if they don't, they're not going to be in business.
Be out of business eventually.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys thought about that. So I thought that's sort of sneaky.
Yeah. I think what some people do is they have 2 different phones and they can take the SIM out of one and put it in the other. Correct. Now how does eSIM? Can they just program it, or you can't do that, right? No. So you're limiting that as well.
Yeah.
I just had the SIM card replaced on my Pixel 6, actually the Pixel 5, because I was having problems. And when I went down, it's like something on there got scratched or had dirt on it that they couldn't get rid of. So the answer was put a new card in, or they said, well, we could use the eSIM. And I said, no, just put another SIM card in it. I mean, that's not something I pay for. That's part of the service you offer. Right. So And I
Okay.
haven't had any more problems since they changed that SIM card. But if there is no spot for it, either eSIM or nothing,
Or nothing. That's right.
or
Now,
Wi-Fi.
yeah, so that's right. Okay, so here's the next thing that was sort of interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is really a cool feature. So if you're in a car accident and you're out in the boonies and you can't connect to a cellular network, then they now have and will be available free of charge in November for the first 2 years. Then they're going to charge. No, we don't know what the cost of this is going to be, but they have connected your phone to a satellite. And it's not Starlink. They've chosen a different carrier, but you take your phone and you actually can point it up to the sky, and you can move your phone around until it'll show you where you connect with the satellite. And this is now so you have a direct connection to a satellite, and you can text. And I think it's not voice, but it's texting. And you're texting to the satellite, which will then connect to 911, and they can get your location, so that people who are out, in an accident or in having emergencies that are not in cell phone service, this will solve that problem. Now, I thought that's sort of cool. Do you guys? I thought that's sort of a neat feature.
Yeah, it's not going to be as fast as what you're used to. It could be several minutes. It could be up to, I believe, 20 minutes before the text message actually gets sent. But at least it connects you to the world when you're in a spot that you wouldn't normally have access. Now, the Starlink one that they're going to connect with T-Mobile,
right?
It's going to be similar, except
Faster.
it's going to be a lot faster.
Yeah.
But it is going to be text to begin with anyway.
Right.
But it is going to make it now within the next year. We should, no matter where you are in the world, you should be able to get an emergency message to somebody if you're in that kind of a predicament, no matter where you are, even if there's no cell access.
Right. Huey, the T-Mobile one, is that going to be with any T-Mobile customers, or is this only an iPhone thing?
No.
T-Mobile, any T-Mobile.
At all. It's any T-Mobile
user
customer.
And T-Mobile has asked for others to join them on a reciprocal basis. So, if you use mine, I'll use yours, and your customers can connect to ours, again, using Starlink. And Starlink is near orbit, whereas the other ones are way up there, and it's much, much slower. So I actually think, Tim Cook didn't want to get in with Starlink, but that's going to be his loss.
Okay. So
because
I guess
eventually you're going to have more than just text.
Right. So I guess what we're looking at, what we're looking at here is a new technology, right? This is a new thing now that we're going to be able to connect phones with, is satellites, not just with iPhone, but this is a new feature that's going to be sort of
texting.
Yeah. One other item,
and only when you're someplace where there is no cell phone, because again, the speed is way different.
Right.
And as the Starlink is going to be in their Gen 2 Starlink satellites, which they haven't even put one up yet.
Okay.
That's why it's not going to go into effect until sometime next year.
Yeah, because they need to finish testing the rockets that's going to send up the Gen 2s. And actually, there's supposed to be, I believe, another test. It's without it leaving the ground, but just the rockets part of it. Test it, firing it, I believe, today or sometime in the next couple of days.
Cool. The other thing that was interesting, a smart ploy on Tim Cook's, is that with inflation, with prices going up and everything happening, only in the United States is they're not raising the prices on the phones or the watches. They're keeping them all the same. And I thought that's a pretty good marketing strategy. So that's
the other thing that I thought was interesting was the detection if you have an accident a car accident.
Crash detection. That's right.
Crash detection.
Crash
Yep.
detection. Now, I did a video. Of course, Pixel has had that, and that is available only on the Pixel phone. But again, the market on a Pixel is only 3% of the people in the United States use a Pixel phone, whereas 52% use Apple phones. So I mean, it is a much bigger spectrum. But you're right, Bob, that crash detection is
Now,
going
will
to be
that only be available? And that I didn't know. Is it only going to be available on the 14, or is it going to be available
I don't know.
retroactive to
Is
others?
it a software? Is there
Yeah.
going to be a software update? I don't know, Bob. That's a good question. We'll have
Yep.
to see how that works out.
Now, on the 12th, you're also going to have the release of the next software update for Apple.
Right.
16 is coming out on the 12th.
Yeah. So some of this could be software upgrade as well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to look at that.
And Ron, for you on your Pixel 3, this is the last update you get on your Pixel 3. After that, no more updates.
No more updates. Yeah, I haven't turned it on for a long time now because
we do have a question from Jolin. Did Tim
Cook mention the reliance on Apple has on China? China keeps shutting down due to COVID. How does Apple get their pieces and parts from China? I think they've, John. I think they've shifted. They have or are shifting their plants to Southeast Asia and India, and they are shifting them around to different locations. You're right, and I think there's a general move away from China for those reasons. The other thing I wanted to talk about is of course, the Apple Watch, which, and I think there's something that people need to know because there was a big change. They did a lot of little changes and stuff like that. But one of the things that you need to be very careful with now is that there are a lot of different, it used to be where all the watches had all the features, right? But the Apple Watch SE is cut down and it's going to lack the temperature sensor, the blood oxygen measurements, and the EC functionality. In other words, they're not all going to have, it's not like in the old days when you bought a watch, they all had that. So there are going to be different watches that are going to have different services. And you're going to have to be careful now on which one you buy, because they're not all the same, because they brought out a whole bunch of different models. They're all doing different things. So that's the caution I have to everyone who is going to look at purchasing these. Be careful on which model you get, because they're not all the same.
So it'll depend on you get what you pay for.
Well, yes. And
that way
sensors, lower price.
Yeah, I was just going to say they can keep the price down by not putting all the sensors in each one. And so, but you might have to, but if you want all of them, then you're going to have 2 or 3 different watches.
Well, yeah, and one of the cool things, I don't know if you watched the one about the diving. I mean, the whole thing, one of the watches now is really they don't do the software, but the company that makes the software, it's Jim Gould will love it. It's a diving watch. I mean, you can take it down and do all your diving. It programs and does all your does all the oxygen saturation and ascent times and all sorts of stuff like that. It all does it from the Apple Watch. So anyway, all as I wanted to say about that though is just be careful on because it's not going to be the same, and it's particularly if you're a senior and you want some of the health apps, then you want to make sure that you get the right watch. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Before we get on,
Ron Brown to do his
I'll do it.
His watch videos now. Instead of buying one iWatch, you'll have to buy 3 or 4 iWatches.
Oh yeah, I got lots of videos coming out. We'll be talking for sure about that. Okay. Huey, before we get on to the news, any other comments? Have we got anybody that wants?
Just one from John.
Why not the good old? Well, we're going to talk about that actually, John. That is a very, very good point. And that actually. Well, also the new law that just got put in, and that actually may be a topic we're going to talk about on our news feed on the new federal initiative for for chip manufacturers in the United States. So that's a big point that's just come up, and that'll be maybe on our news. I think I posted the article on our news. So let's have a look at some of the.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let's take it. I think it's on there, but I can't remember if I posted that. So just to let everyone know, if you want to follow along with us, this is our Facebook page, and if you go over to our Facebook page, you don't need to log in, but this is the Facebook page, and you can follow the articles with us, and they're on there. Okay, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Let's see how we do here. All right. Well, Huey's thinking about his stomach again. Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, this is from the Restaurant Business Line website. Uber Eats will start robot deliveries in California and Texas a little bit later this year. And how this works is it's a robot, and I guess the article didn't really say, but it inferred that it stops in front of your house and lets you know that it's there, and then you get a certain code, and you go out to the vehicle and put in the code, either probably through your phone, and it opens up a door where you then take out your order. So not anybody, if it pulls up in front of somebody's house, somebody else can't come out and just grab your food. And Domino's already is using the Nuro vehicle. But this is going to be Uber Eats is going to use a similar vehicle.
Pretty cool. Wow.
It's a robot. It's not driven by anybody. It's it just shows up in front of your house and tells you it's there.
I think that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The Domino's and some of the other places that use delivery, they're still having problems getting drivers. The cost, the insurance has gone up, and it's getting very expensive for them. Whether they do this, they're going to save a lot of money, and it'll also be cheaper than for the hungry customer.
Yeah. And then you got Chrome OS. Yeah, I just downloaded this, installed it this morning on my Chromebook.
Yeah, there's my.
You guys are late.
Yeah, I know.
No, the Chrome OS only came out today.
Yeah.
Unless you had a Pixel phone. I've had it for a while already.
Yeah, Pixel phone isn't Chrome OS. It is the Chrome browser.
Right. This is the Chrome OS for your Chromebook. Yeah, I just downloaded.
I'm sorry. Chromebook.
Yeah. I just downloaded this morning on my Pixel book. Okay. Huey, Chrome OS rolling out and get the most. Yeah. Okay. So if you do have a Chromebook, please, you'll probably download this and install it. Yeah. And I'll be doing a video on our. So Huey, the other thing is, maybe people don't know, we do our monthly Learning Chromebook session, and we do a 1-hour tutorial once a month, right?
Yep.
And each month I do a video on the features of the latest Chrome version. Although this is going to be a tough one because I don't think there's much in Chrome OS 105 in the features. So anyway, are you going on a cruise? Oh,
no, but if you do, the Royal Caribbean is putting on some of their ships. They're putting a bunch of the Starlink satellite dishes, and they are charging for it. It's not going to be free and probably be quite expensive, but you'll be able to get a much better internet connection and keep connected to the rest of the world while you're on your cruise using via Starlink.
Oh, wow. So now if you had a Starlink account at your home, could you maybe you could just bring your aerial and just swap them out or something at night when no one was watching, and then have your own, because they all look the same, right? All these devices. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. That's cool.
Yep. And of course they're putting it on, I think it's Delta is made arrangements to use the Starlink service, and you'll probably see more airlines using it as well. And they've they put up a bunch more satellites recently. They've now put into the air over 3,000, but they're still at about 2,900 something in actual use. But they really have a lot of satellites up there now.
We're not going to go over. This is just an article I put on here. If you're interested, these are all the major announcements yesterday from Apple. We've already covered a lot of that, so I'm not going to go into this, but it's there if you want to watch it. Oh, so the next question I should ask everybody: when's the last time you went to a movie? And a long time ago. How long ago for you, Bob?
What's going to the movies? Isn't that turning on the TV and watching something from?
When did you last go to the movie? When did you last go to a show?
It's been pre-COVID for me, and but I did buy a microwave popper that works great, so I make my own popcorn and watch it. I'll watch 3 or 4 movies on TV streaming, and watch some pretty good movies, and
You're happy.
I don't have anybody bothering me or kicking the back of my seat or standing up in front of me to go to the bathroom. It's just much more
90% of the movies that are in the movies, my wife would never go and see because that's just not the kind of movies she watches. At least when we pick them from one of the other services, we get to watch what we want to watch. Yes, I know most of them are old movies.
Yeah, but it's interesting because Gail and I used to go to a lot of movies, and we used to always want to review them all before the Academy Awards. We haven't been to a movie theater in till since pre-pandemic levels, and that's what this article is all about. The CEO of Disney said, I don't think it's going to come back, and I think it's an interesting article. Did anyone want to talk about right to repair with Apple? I think that's
any phone actually is different countries and are making it mandatory that you have the right to repair your phone, but you know what? They're so complicated. You've got to know what you're doing, or you're going to screw it up anyway. So, what it does make it of the parts available for people who know what they're doing to be able to work on them. Steve Wozniak, by the way, I've got a book he signed for me. He spoke at something I went to, and I had him sign. He was giving copies of his book away and signed it. He and of course Steve Jobs were the founders of Apple, and he's quite outspoken sometimes, but he doesn't have anything to do with Apple anymore.
Nope.
Interesting. Now Ray actually posted this article. Bob and I, when we win our lottery and we each get $100,000, Bob and I decide we're going to buy one of these, and I think these are so cool. Have you guys seen any around?
I haven't seen them around now.
They're pretty. I haven't seen any around here. You know what I did see though you know what I saw, which was really crazy? I saw it this week up at our local mall. I saw a Jeep Rubicon, brand new Jeep Rubicon plug-in. And it was plugged in. It was electric plug-in Jeep Rubicon. I didn't know they made those. It was sort of interesting. And also Ray, Bob, you did this one. Ray.
Yep. A bicycle built for two.
Yeah.
That's also motorized. Of course, it's meant to carry cargo, but it can also carry the second person.
I'm going for an e-bike ride this afternoon with a friend of mine. So he has an e-bike and I have an e-bike. So a couple old farts are going for an e-bike ride for coffee. So it should be fun.
If you had one of these, you just only have to, save some electricity and some battery. One person drives and the other one holds on for dear life.
All right. Yeah, good. Lots of fun. Yes, I just wanted to remind everyone that Apple kept the prices in the United States the same. What's good news? Yes, but not to be outdone. Sorry, excuse me a sec. Not to be outdone with all Apple's announcements. I wanted to remind everyone that Google will be having on October the 6th will be their big announcement. They, of course, will bring out the Pixel 7 phone, and we'll see what. And then, of course, the new Pixel Watch will be coming out. Now, now I am really interested to see what they're going to bring out, what they're going to take out of the hat with the rabbit. What are they going to come up with that's going to make people really, want to move over to a Pixel Watch? Be interesting. I have no idea what it's going to be, but they're going to need to come up with some magical thing that everyone's going to want. Anyway, that will be coming on October, and we'll be covering that. Yeah, this is what Huey was talking about. This was RCS messaging is the new messaging standard that is being adopted across the United States, and it is per carrier, and it allows a lot more characters in your texting, and this is the new standard that Android phones are having. But
and I said he sounded a little pompous, and this was Jolin's comment about that.
He said they don't want to adopt RCS. They just want to buy your mom an iPhone. I thought that was funny. Yes, this is so Huey, this was interesting. Apple picked Globalstar. I guess that's a big satellite company for their iPhone, and they didn't pick Starlink. Okay?
Yeah, I'm not sure which one Globalstar is. There's 2 or 3 of them out there. There's one that's owned by the
DirecTV.
That's probably Globalstar, because there's one that the British government, and I think India and another an India company have some satellites. I think that's OneWeb that's up there. There's 3 or 4 different services now that not nearly the number of satellites, but do have satellites, and some of them are much lower orbit, so they don't need as many.
Right.
To at least start. And one of them, and I can't remember, is going to. They were going to use the Soviet rockets to put up their satellites, and they can't now because of everything that's going on over there. So they've actually contracted with SpaceX, which is Starlink, to put a competitor satellites up using SpaceX.
There you go.
Globalstar Inc. is an American satellite communications company that operates a low Earth orbit satellite constellation for satellite phone and low-speed data communications. So it's not one that supplies anything other than for cell phones.
Huey, have we got any comments we should?
Yeah, let's see.
Hi, Olive says hi from the cooler yet sunny Willamette Valley in Oregon. Jolin, I just spotted your request on Facebook. I don't use it either. That is the link to the show. Great. Okay, thanks, Jolin. Which link? As I said, I'm having difficulty. I think we looked at this one. Did we not?
No.
Which link?
Nope.
As I said, I'm having difficulty locating the link. Sometimes I click on something that connect. Other times I click on something and end up older section.
The best way to find us is just go to the www.techforsenior.com
and there's a big
and click the link.
There's a big button there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but find our YouTube page or our Facebook page, and that's where it is.
Right. E-bikes, do you have a helmet? Of course. Otherwise, please avoid. Yes, indeed.
I
Lee
don't know what
Dance
that is.
gang, old heads high. Just subscribe to you all on God. I love to see old heads having fun. Well, that is true. We are having fun.
I don't know who Lee is.
No, I don't either.
Is that it? Is that the
That's it.
okay.
Yeah, we're caught up.
All right, we'll keep going. Apple Watch 8 hands-on early. Yeah, just we've dealt with that before. Bob, this cyber cockroaches?
How about that? I have no
Really?
clue what they are ultimately trying to do. But yes, they are working and putting AI onto cockroaches,
Oh,
big suckers. And to me, even if it's a cockroach and that's something I may wind up stepping on, I still wouldn't put that poor thing through this.
Well,
So,
maybe
but
they'll mate with real cockroaches and not make new ones.
all right. And Bob says researchers in China are apparently working to prevent mitochondrial diseases.
yeah, by getting rid of the bad stuff and substituting it with good stuff. That's the layman's best way to describe it.
Okay, good. Excellente.
Now, whether this will ever amount to something, who knows? But it is being done, and as I said, it's being done in China.
And this is what you're talking about earlier. Pixel 3a updates end this month.
Yep.
Very good. I'm just using mine as my 3 as a phone now, or not as a camera. It's still got a
Yep.
good camera in it.
Right. For that, it's great.
Yeah.
And there are many of the phones that, are no longer being updated and you shouldn't be using them, but they make great phones.
They do.
I mean, great cameras. So
yeah.
there's no reason not to use them as a camera.
Mhm.
That and you can download podcasts or music to them,
Yep.
and then use them when you're walking and so on, and not have to carry your phone and worry about breaking it or losing it or whatever.
And Bob, you're talking about this. Which iOS 16 launch? Which
Yeah,
iPhone?
this one tells you which phones
Okay.
are capable of the update to iOS 16,
Mhm.
and it will be coming out on the 12th. So just a
Okay.
couple of days from now.
Excellent. We've done that one. Here's something worth passing on to our grandkids. Money.
Well, in this case, it's top tips so that your kids, when they go back to school, don't wind up getting infected. This gives them a little bit more information and ammunition to stay safe. But it's geared toward kids. It's not geared toward seniors.
We're kids.
We're kids. So you know what I bought? I got to tell everyone
If they live long enough, they may eventually, or one of these days, turn into seniors. But for some of them, who knows?
Oh, you know who's sitting out here? We haven't added him.
Oh, here he is.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Welcome.
He made it.
Let me introduce Mr. Ray Baxter. Ray, of course, is our music director from our Monday show. He's a great guy. I won't go on and on and on and on since
time out.
We're at the end of the show. But anyway, welcome, Ray.
Hi.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. Had some things come up. Here now.
Hey, that's to be expected, right? I was just going to tell everybody what I bought what I got my grandchildren is I bought them all their domain names. So they and you may think, well, so what? But they now all have their own domain name, and that may not be important now, but I certainly think that later on in life they may it'll be a big deal to have your own domain name, and a lot of people wish they had their own domain name, but they don't have it now. And as we get more and more into the internet, as life goes on, I think it's going to be a big deal. So anyway,
Is that lifetime?
Yeah, well, I own it, and as long as I keep paying,
As long as you keep paying for it. Yeah.
yeah. But I will, that's my gift to them, and they'll, when I die, they'll if they want it, they can take it over, and
Yep.
off you go. But I think it's something that they don't appreciate right now. I think the parents do, but it is something that you can. I think it is important. I think your own domain name will be important as you move forward. So that's sort of cool.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
nothing
I've
else,
had-
Ron,
I've-
every time they use the internet, they'll think of you.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And
Whatever.
if they become famous, they'll be very, very lucky that you thought about doing it.
True.
Because at the time they become famous, they're not going to be able to do that.
That's right.
Somebody will have grabbed that site.
That's true, Bob. So
Yeah, I've had Huey.net since 1995.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And aren't you glad? Because you're famous now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. New entry to my podcast. Thanks for listening. Bob, do you want to talk about that one, or?
It's a new scan that's out called Brushing, and you can either listen to the podcast or you can watch it on YouTube.
Okay. Thanks so much for doing that, Bob. There we go.
Oh, this is great. If you haven't watched this video, this is, I think you mentioned, Ron, that you think that this is a year of foldables. This is a foldable PC, and it's just amazing. There's a keyboard there, and you can take the keyboard off and then open it up, and it becomes a full screen, 17-inch screen.
Yep.
Ray is going to be talking this Monday. Ray has, of course, a foldable phone. And this Monday, on our Monday show, Ray is going to be giving us his impression of his foldable phone. Very interesting.
Touches on it now.
You can use either half the screen or the whole screen, use the keyboard with it or not. It's a touch screen. It's not going to be cheap in the beginning. And that's what some of the articles I've been reading about these. The pricing is going to be quite high, so they're not going to become immediately popular. But this is, I think, the future.
What I read about? What about $2,500?
Yeah, that's what I was reading. Yeah.
Cool. Now the interesting thing here's something more that to think about. Did you guys think about this? Apple's event, no foldable devices. Right?
Mhm.
Think about that. Now we're moving ahead now, and we're going to talk about this on Monday's show. But I believe the future is in foldable devices, and particularly with phones, and that's a route. And Samsung believes that, and they of course have a company that make all the foldable screens. But I'm going to say that I'm going to step out here on a platform and say I think that's really the way we're going to be going. And it was interesting that Apple has no foldable or didn't mention any foldables whatsoever. Interesting. I don't know where we're going with that.
Ron,
Well,
if people want larger phones, you have to be able to have foldables because you can't keep them as large while you want to put them in your pocket, purse, or whatever. So
That's right.
unless you can fold them and then they become big when you unfold them, you're kind of limited to what we have now, which is what, about almost 7 inches. But you're not going to go much bigger than that because how are you going to carry it?
There you go. Now, the next thing that at Tech for Senior on our Monday show, not only we've just done a whole series, Mike Ungerman has done a whole series on power, solar power for your home. And we're going to be moving into this new year. We're going to be talking about EVs because this is 2023 will be the year where really there's going to be a lot of EVs coming out. And what I wanted just to tell you, and I know this is just affecting British Columbia, but our provincial government just upped the rebates for this coming year to $9,000 per car. And all as I'm saying is, as we move forward, we'll be talking more about this at Tech for Senior on our Monday show. But you really need to look at your local states and in Canada, our provinces, and see where we're going with this, because as we move forward, I think you're going to see bigger and bigger rebates as these cars come online. So
Ron, along with that rebate, did they also pass legislation to the car manufacturers not being able to raise their prices to an equal amount? Because that's what happens here in the U.S.
Yeah,
Uncle Sam gives you a rebate, and they raise the prices by that amount.
Yeah,
and it's to put more cars out there, but they still don't have enough
charging
ways
stations
to charge them and places to go to charge them.
Yeah,
and
the
that's
infrastructure isn't there yet.
The infrastructure for the amount of electricity they need. California is having problems. They're again are having problems with having enough electricity for all the air conditioners. So how are they going to have enough electricity for cars?
California almost daily is now begging their customers, don't charge until nighttime.
Right.
Don't turn on any extra lights or do any charging until nighttime. That's not a way to live.
No air conditioning when it's 106.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, Bob, hackers are what? They're hacking into the telescope?
No, they're hacking into the picture that's been made famous from the Webb telescope.
Oh.
The image that's been sent all over the world. Somebody's figured out to download it from the wrong place. It looks just like the real one, but it contains malware. To download and you're infected. So be careful where you get your picture from.
All right. We talked about that. Oh, I like this. I'm gonna go to here. Yes, indeed. Bob, tell us about this. I'm going to this hotel.
Well, there's a hotel now in Japan that gives you up to 10 liters of draft beer right in your room.
You gotta be
free
kidding.
of charge. Of course, I don't know how much the hotel charges. I'm sure it's included in the price, but draft beer on demand, up to 10 liters. That's quite an amount. You better be staying there for a while.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. I think I'm gonna go traveling. You guys want to go on? Maybe we should have a Tech for Senior retreat or something. And
hey,
we'll go to
good
that
idea. We can do a live broadcast from Japan from that hotel room.
And I don't think I've ever had Japanese beer.
Yeah.
I understand it's pretty darn strong.
We're getting close to the end here. Huey, do we have any more comments?
Let's see. We were kidding around about Lee Bance and some of the comments he made. And what he said was,
I'm just a new subscriber, y'all. Having fun. Yeehaw. Yeah, well, that's all we are. We're having fun. Jolin says, I'm still using my Pixel 2 that way. Camera, audiobooks. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, those cameras are good. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with using them. You can also use with the GPS feature, use them as just a GPS locator, right? When you're out hiking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
you made the good point before, using it as an MP3 player for either music or to tune in podcasts. So
yeah,
always a use.
Ray, we looked at your. Are you getting the buzz? We looked at your. I posted your video on that. When Bob and I have talked about that before. When we win the lottery, we're definitely going to buy one.
Yes, I knew you'd like that.
Yeah. But
now. All you have to do is be in Europe.
Are they in the United States yet?
No, just Europe.
Nope,
just Europe. Okay. Mike, Mike's here. Hey, Mike's here. Mike did a whole series on solar energy, and he has a plug-in EV, and he'll be doing our talk on EVs, electrical infrastructure for EVs expanding in Orlando. I passed 2 new ones today. There you go. You know, the article we didn't, I guess we've only got 1 minute to remind me, but there was this big announcement federally in the United States about what is it, $23 billion for chip manufacturing, so that they want to bring chip manufacturing back into the United States. And this is a big incentive that was just passed. Did you guys not see that article? Or
Well, it was passed over a week ago in the Congress, signed by President Biden, and it's all part of pushing more and more of the U.S. companies like Intel, AMD,
right,
to do their chip manufacturing here and not in China.
Yeah. So I thought that was really good, and that'll be lots of change there. I know that in Ray, that's another there's a big chip manufacturing plant that's being built. Is it in Mesa or Chandler?
No, Chandler. Intel is building 2 big buildings in Chandler that'll be focusing just on chip manufacturing.
Yeah, but they've been working on that for a while. Is it next year it's going to be up and running? Do you know?
It's going to be. It's being built now. It's ready to open, at least preliminary, in early 2023.
Oh, really? Oh, that'll be cool.
First half of 2023, anyway.
Yeah.
Intel has had a plant here in New Mexico for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been expanding
in Chandler. They're really expanding on an existing facility.
Yeah. Well, listen, you guys, you know, it's time to go. I want to thank everybody for coming and listening to us. This will be out as a podcast tomorrow. If you don't forget about our Monday show, we have a big show coming up this Monday. And we're going to have, and Huey, we've got your WinSig on
Sunday, and
on Sunday.
You're doing one with Milwaukee group tonight.
Yeah, and Bob, you're doing seniors
conference on aging.
Aging,
New Mexico conference on aging.
Aging, yeah.
Well,
I've decided
1 o'clock Mountain Time.
Okay. I decided I'm not having any more birthdays. I don't like being 70, so I'm not going to have any more birthdays.
Jolin, the alternative to getting old is to die young. Not a good idea.
I don't think I want to do that either.
Right.
Jolin says, hey, audience, remember to hit the like button. Thanks, Jolin. Yep. If you give us a like and subscribe, that would be great. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you same time, same place next week. We'll be back again. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
This has been fun. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.